Melody, issue number one, The Other Me by Europe Comics. So yeah, I had decided to check out two Europe comics. One of them was The Loneliness of the Abyss, which was the previous video that I did today. And now I'm doing a Melody, The Other Me. And this one is a French comic. The Loneliness of the Abyss was a Greek comic. This one was translated from French. And once again, I am just reminded that I really need to start getting into Europe comics way more than I already am. Yeah, this one we start off with our main character. She's a young girl whose name is Melody, and she has a talent for the piano. In fact, she's so good at the piano that it's almost like she transports other people to another world. And the artwork for this is just beautifully drawn. It's almost like a painting come to life. And so she's doing this recital, and it's supposed to be for this prestigious like school. Her art on this piano is so good that it brings everybody to tears. She's done with the recital. She's going back home with her parents, and her parents are very proud of her. And they're like, I think you got the job. Like, I think you're in. We just got to wait for us to receive a confirmation, but I believe you're going to be accepted. And at first, I was kind of worried about the parents. I was like, oh no, he's going to be one of those where like the child has a talent and the parents are forcing that talent on the child. Like they're forcing the child to participate. In this case, playing the piano when she doesn't want to. And thankfully, no. Thankfully, these seem to be regular, loving parents who are just really excited that their child has a talent for something and trying to help that talent grow. But yeah, they're on their way home when some guy walks across the street and the father has to swerve out of the way and they end up crashing into the side of a tunnel. The parents are okay, but the daughter, Melody, is unconscious. She's taken to the hospital where the parents are told that she has suffered major trauma to the head and that scans have shown that she has deep lesions in her brain. And they're trying to assess like how much damage she possibly has. And once they have a more detailed diagnosis, they'll be able to hopefully try to help her get better. But in the meantime, they're going to put her into a semi coma in a sense. And of course, they get told that at this stage, it's hard to say, but like we don't even know if she can hear us. We don't know if she'll be able to speak if, when she wakes up. We don't even know if she will wake up. We have no knowledge about what's going to happen to your daughter. So just stay with her, talk to her, just let her know that she's important and that she can feel your presence. And so the mom is like, she's breaking down. She's like, I don't know if I can do this. And the father's like, why don't you go home, get some rest, and I'll stay with Melody for the day. And I was like, you know what? This is also another nice thing where we have parents that actually give a crap, especially a dad who actually cares about his family. Maybe it's just because of the stuff that I read and watch here in America, but families, especially fathers, are always depicted as being very terrible. They are either dumb, obnoxious, naive, simpletons. Usually they're fat. They're constantly causing trouble for the family. A lot of times they're just like at odds with their kids, stuff like that. Like there's just no really good portrayals of fathers in American media. I mean, I'm not saying that there's none whatsoever. There are exceptions, but it's very rare. So it was nice to read this French comic and see like, no, here's a dad that really loves the hell out of his family and his kid. And he's like, you know what? I see my wife is having a really hard time here. Why don't I send her home and I'm going to stay with my kid? I'll stay with my kid overnight and I'm going to keep talking to her and I'm going to try to help her at least, show her that she's loved and that I'm here for her. And so, so the wife's like, you know what? Like, I'm going to go home. Can you walk me to the taxi? So the dad's like, all right. And he tells his daughter, I'll be right back. And that's when all of a sudden the daughter wakes up. She just like snaps awake, but she is not in the hospital, or at least the hospital is no longer a regular hospital. She wakes up and there's like weird pink mist. There's flowers and mushrooms and things everywhere. Plants are growing on the walls and on the floor. And as she's walking, she sees a bunch of what looks like jelly figures. And we even seen one of them that there's like a human inside. And the figure like grabs onto Melody's hand and it hurts her. So she like yanks her hand away and she starts running. And these slime creatures start chasing her. And she runs out of the hospital where she comes across what looks like this weird, crazy, like mushroom forest. It kind of looks like something straight out of Alice in Wonderland. And once again, beautifully drawn. Like it doesn't look like a comic so much as it looks like a painting. This entire comic just looks like panels and panels of paintings. It's freaking amazing. I love it. And she's just kind of like walking through this forest, and all these slime creatures are there, and they're like attracted to her. There's something about her presence that's drawing them to her, and they start grabbing at her. And as they start grabbing on her, like their slime starts crawling up her, and it even turns her into like this like slime creature. And that's when this woman shows up, and she uses magic to create this barrier around Melody, and it drives the slime creatures away, and it yanks out. It almost looks like it yanks out Melody's soul from the slime creature that she was becoming, and so she's back in her regular body. And this woman, her name is Shanala. She takes Melody's hand and leads her through the forest to her house. And she basically explains to Melody what's going on. She tells Melody that you are in the Midway realm. You're in the realm where spirits roam. They're spirits of the living, in which the harmony of body and soul has been broken. And they're spirits of the deceased, who are awaiting to enter the realm of the dead. You being in this realm means that you're either dead or you're going to die very soon. Like in the realm of the living, your heart's going to stop, your breathing will stop, your brain will cease all activity, and you're going to roam around here for a while. And as you're roaming around here, your life force is going to be drained. It's going to be swallowed up by the shadows. And once it has fully drained, you will enter the realm of the dead, which is a realm that nobody has ever returned from. And of course, Melody starts crying. And she's like, is there any way I can go back? Like, I want to see my parents again. And so Janela tells her, like, I detect a very powerful life force within you, which is why, like, all the shadows, which are what the slime creatures are, why they were chasing you. And Melody's like, maybe I should have just let them catch me because it's hopeless either way. I'm going to die anyways, right? And that's when Shanala says, well, there is a way I can temporarily return you to the realm of the living. Would you like that? And of course, Melody jumps at that opportunity. She says, all right, thanks for my power. I can send you back to the realm of the living where you can see your parents again. But in exchange, I need you to do something for me. Since I'm going to be giving you extra time to live, I need you to fulfill these missions while you're in the realm of the living. You must do everything that I say. Some of the missions are going to be dangerous, but you still must do them. If you're willing to do that, I'm willing to send you back. And Melody is like, I'm willing to do that. Shanala basically, once again, tells her how important this is. She's like, you have to abide by my rules, and you have to fulfill the missions I assign you. Once again, do you understand? Melody says yes. She's like, all right, now let's seal our pact and focus on this glyph, and I'm going to send you back. And so all of a sudden, Melody wakes up, and she's back in the hospital, and her parents are there. And she's only been there for a day. So she was taken in the day before, stayed overnight. This is the next day. She's woken up, and everyone's like, it's a miracle. The doctors had ordered a bunch of tests to run on you, and things were not looking good at all. And somehow the lab got it wrong, and the accident didn't cause any long-term damage. You're going to be fine to go home. And of course, this is all thanks to Janala. But they don't know that. Only Melody knows that. And so Melody, gets ready to leave. She thanks Shanala, and then she goes back home. And it's been a few days. And Melody is not allowed to go to school yet. They want to keep her here at home for just a little while, just to make sure that everything's okay. Because they're still, running tests and things, just to make sure that she's 100% back to normal before they can send her to school. And so her mom is going to leave for work. Her dad's already left for work. So Melody is left home alone, and she's going to go about her morning routine. And as she's going to take a shower, she sees Shanala in the mirror. Shanala basically explains that mirrors are windows to other worlds. And now, I've lived up to my end of the deal. Now it's time for you to live up to your end of the deal. I have a mission for you. I need you to go to this Starlight shop, talk to this girl named Anna Golden, and ask her to give you a case. She'll understand what I mean. Melody basically looks it up. She takes a bus ride there. She shows up at this Starlight shop, which looks like just like this weird kind of esoteric shop. And she, sees Anna, who's the shop owner, tells her, okay, my friend asked me to pick up a case. What's your friend's name? Shanala. Ah, this is your first time, isn't it? She gives her a case, sends her to the back room. It says that, there's tea if you want, fresh clothes if you need a change. And of course, Melody's kind of confused, like, why am I going to need fresh clothes to change? And that's when she opens up the case, and there's this magical like glyph inside. There's just a little note that says, an open heart opens a closed heart. And she's holding this as she repeats the words. And then we get a magical girl transformation scene. And, it's like the classic ribbons and, wings and feathers and all that stuff. It's basically something straight out of like Sailor Moon. But one thing we noticed that there's two girls. There's Melody on the left, and there's this like older girl on the right. And the older girl on the right is also Melody. Basically, what happens is the gem doesn't transform her into a magical girl. It transforms her into her older body. It ages her up. Like, this is what you're going to look like when you're a teenager. Melody has to undergo these missions. And this first mission is to track down the man who caused her car accident. So the man who ran across the road that forced her dad to swerve out of the way, and she has to find him. And I'm going to stop it there. I don't want to spoil like the entire issue. Unlike The Loneliness of the Abyss, this isn't a one-shot. This is an ongoing series. So this is just issue 1 of Melody. And it is amazing. Like, I loved it. I thought it was really good. I thought it was going to go in so many different directions. Like, at first I thought it was going to be about a girl in a coma who goes into like a fantasy world. And it's basically her like just exploring this fantasy world as she's trying to come to terms with the fact that she's in a coma. And maybe if she like succeeds in doing something, like some kind of quest, she'll be able to go back. And then I thought it was going to become some weird magical girl story. And I was like, okay, why did they age her up? Is it going to go in a really weird direction I don't want it to go? No. And then I was like, okay, well, is she going to be like fighting spirits and demons or something? No. So it just like, it's one of those where it just keeps going in like these different directions I wasn't expecting it to go. And I don't want to spoil where it goes because I want you to read it yourself. But it's awesome. Like, I really love the story. Melody is a really great character. Hey, American media, here you go. You have a female lead. You have another female. You have a lot of females. In fact, the only males that you have are the father, the doctor, and the man who caused the accident. Everyone else is basically female. And none of them are written terribly. Here's a female lead that's like awesome. Like, I'm rooting for Melody. I'm hoping she succeeds. I'm hoping things go well for her. I'm hoping she has a happy ending. Like, she's a child character, which is another character that's a lot of people are very terrible at writing. A lot of times I've read like children characters and they come across as like really annoying and stuff. But Melody is not. Melody is very likable, very sympathetic, easy to root for. You want to see her succeed. And then, of course, we got the artwork. And as I said before, the artwork is freaking amazing. It feels less like a comic book and more like just a bunch of paintings. And that has to do with also the coloring. The coloring is fantastic. But yeah, it's basically like I'm reading a book of paintings that are telling me a story. And it is just amazing. Like, I can't stop gushing about this issue. It's freaking fantastic. I love it. I really can't recommend this issue enough. If you can find it, get it. If your local comic book shop doesn't have it, request it. Or buy it online, or just whatever you got to do to get your hands on it, do it. Because it is fantastic. It is an amazing read. And I am very much looking forward to issue number 2. But there you go. There's Melody, issue number 1, The Other Me. It's ah, it's beautiful. Like I'm running out of words. I'm gonna have to bust out a thesaurus to just keep gushing over how great this is. But I highly recommend it. Go check it out. But there you go, Melody, The Other Me by Europe Comics. Fantastic read. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. Hope to see you next time. Take care. Later. So what'd you guys think of that video? I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys haven't already, please subscribe, hit that bell for a notification, leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And if you didn't enjoy the video, thank you for watching it this far, and I hope the next video is more to your liking. Feel free to check out the playlist that you guys see, and I hope to see you guys next time. Later.